Pro Bono Students Canada is a national organization that supports the work of pro bono, which is basically giving legal services, if you will, not legal advice, but legal services to people in need, usually for free. Certainly the services provided by the students are free. The services provided by the agencies that they support may or may not be. But it is mostly geared towards people in need in various capacities.
Our research helps the organization in having a legal foundation, I suppose, for articulating the fact that undocumented persons in Kingston are a pretty vulnerable group, and then the importance of having a system in place for all organizations that deal with undocumented persons so that they could access resources like schooling or public libraries, or even accessing healthcare resources without fear of being deported or being reported to the CBSA.
So my project works with people who are living with HIV and AIDS. I would say that my project helped strengthen the organization that supports these people and their lifestyle.
So the threshold to be given legal aid is quite low for income, and it's actually pretty difficult to qualify for legal aid. So the clients that that the Queen's Family Law Clinic serves tend to fall in this sort of window of someone that doesn't make nearly enough to be able to afford legal representation to pay a lawyer, but also is working poor, so they don't make so small of an income that they qualify for legal aid. So probably the biggest area where we're having some effect on the community and their ability to feel like their voices are heard in court and that they're able to clearly represent themselves with some help from us is in that sort of window of income of sort of the average working poor person. Giving them the chance to have their opinion heard in court or have their issues brought forward is really valuable to the community as a whole, because it just contributes to the health of the community altogether.
The Bedford Mining Alerts works with property owners in Kingston and surrounding communities to try and inform them about the Mining Act in Canada and the current government process in which the mining rights are kind of overshadow surface right owners' rights. So we're trying to inform property owners about the current act and propose different ways that the act could change.
Able Sail is a project through the Kingston Yacht Club that provides adapted sailing boats to people with disabilities, even with very restricted mobility, so that they can operate in the boats and enjoy sailing. It's easy to take for granted that if you're interested in an activity and pursue it, you can generally do it. But when someone is severely restricted in their movements, the context changes. So a program like Able Sail can make an immense difference in making something accessible to someone and really providing an opportunity to enjoy an activity that otherwise they wouldn't be able to do.
So Kingston was trying to become a solidarity city for undocumented persons, and I thought that the work that we could do in order to help Solidarity Kingston, the organization that was involved with having that happen, was really meaningful work, and then work that would help the Kingston community just generally.
I don't know the numbers, but I believe it's had a pretty dramatic impact on the community. One of the matters that I've had the most exposure through the project is assisting people that maybe have some child support arrears. They can be feeling really intimidated by government agencies sort of contacting them and making, threats of taking their income or taking licenses. And a lot of times these are people that, for real, genuine life reasons, haven't been able to maintain child support payments. So being able to give those people some support is really, really, really valuable.
Giving back to the community is something that I always felt strongly about. I used to volunteer for children in inner city schools, and I thought when I came to Kingston I could practice my legal skills and give back to the community.
I wanted to work on a project that touched upon areas of law that I have an interest in, This project mainly dealt with tax implications of certain types of donations and the reporting obligations that a charitable organization has in receiving donations generally. I have an interest in tax law, and the fact that it was a not-for-profit context made it more enjoyable because it was clear how we were helping in an organization that gives back to the community.
Working to compile this index, I was able to get a greater understanding of what the Bedford Mining Alert had done in the past and seeing like a broader spectrum of everything that they'd done, and got to read a lot of interesting memorandum that had been compiled by students previously. And I think other students in other years would have only been able to focus on one or two defined topics, and I was able to get a much broader range and a deeper understanding of the project.
So first-year law students should volunteer for PBSC because it's a good way to practice your legal skills and see the impact that it has on real people instead of just learning about cases and thinking about legal theories. So I highly recommend joining PBSC in first year.
But just sitting in lectures is wonderful learning as well, and that's an important part of our learning, but the hands-on piece is to me the most valuable, where you're going to learn the most about yourself as much as about the law.
First-year law students should get into pro bono because it gives you something to focus on other than just your classroom readings, and will give you a chance to meet students just outside your section, which is great to connect with other people and with professors or practicing lawyers.
The work that you do with pro bono is completely different than the work that you're going to be doing in the classroom. And I think it's a really meaningful way for students to get involved in the law, like in a practical way.
Sitting down and hearing the facts in a client-facing situation, and then having to work alongside others in going out and finding the right solution for that client is something completely different. So pro bono offers an opportunity for a different but very important type of learning from the get-go.
If you get involved in pro bono, your law degree can be a very powerful tool for good. And to me, that's a wonderful message, and something that has been a part of my life and my career now since graduation 20-odd years ago. I think pro bono is just a fantastic way to really understand the value and the power of a law degree.